YouTube channel, and we're here to have a conversation. I know we was on the first channel speaking about Thanksgiving and stuff like that. And y'all know my disclaimer, I'm not a pastor preacher. I don't hold any type of office in the church. So please do not lay claims of those titles on me. We're not here to violate any type of community guidelines, any type of copyright infringement, or any type of privacy guidelines at all. Shout out to everybody who's going to join us live now, in the middle, and those who want to check it out when it uploads to YouTube. We back with another video here on this YouTube channel, which is my secondary YouTube channel, Tony Harvin Network. We do got a third one, Tony Harvin TV, and my primary YouTube channel is Tony Harvin. Going to check in on the people. We checking in on the people, see what y'all eating on and whatnot, and things of that nature. I know we're going to have some over-righteous people. I just asked a simple question. What the people eating on? That's it. You understand? I just asked what they eating. That's it. What up to Levy? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. You said ordering a pizza right now. Ordering a pizza. Hey, that's fine. What up to Sion? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. What's up to Drago? He says greetings. Brother Tony and TOG family, shout out to you. Shout out to the people in the background. Shout out to y'all too. You know, with Brother SV, what up? Shout out to you. He says greetings. I ain't eat yet. I'm looking through Uber Eats. Through Uber Eats while watching the NFL game. Uber Eats. I know they're making a lot of money out there. Cruising and grooving. What's up to William Barlow? Shout out to you. You said spaghetti and cornbread. What is that? What kind of combination is that? I never heard of that before. Spaghetti and cornbread. Has anybody ever had spaghetti and cornbread? I never heard of such combination like that. Maybe spaghetti and, crab legs, shrimp and spaghetti. I've heard of that. Spaghetti and Italian sausages, but cornbread and spaghetti. What's up to Suzanne Miller? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. What's up to David B? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. What's up to Marcia? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Appreciate that. Brother SV says garlic bread. Yeah. But not cornbread, LOL. I haven't heard of that. I know some people put sugar on their spaghetti. Listen, sugar does not go on spaghetti. I don't care what y'all say for those who do that. You hear me? Sugar does not go on spaghetti at all. Neither does sugar go on grits at all either. Some people make these horrible combinations. You understand? Or just mix any old thing in with certain foods. David B says, I'm watching Dallas and Kansas City right now. I'm bored. Wow, Dallas. What up to Sion? Shout out to you. You says regular lamb Ethiopian food. Ethiopian food. How do y'all food taste? I know people from the islands. I know they kind of cook their food with certain spices and whatnot. How does Ethiopians cook their food? What is their main ingredients? What's their main seasonings that they use? Let us know. All right? William Barlow says, sugar on spaghetti is fire. No, it ain't. No, it's not. You understand? Listen, I'll be real eager to throw that plate in the garbage. I almost did that one time. Some years back, somebody made some spaghetti for me. And it tasted weird. It tasted real weird. Long and behold, it had sugar in it. I would have threw that plate in the garbage. You know what I mean? Listen, I ain't care because sugar and spaghetti don't go together. You know what I mean? For me, that is. Now, if y'all put sugar in spaghetti, hey, that's fine. All right, that's on you. You know what I mean? If you put sugar in grits, that's on you. You know what I mean? Listen, sugar don't go in grits. Ketchup doesn't go in eggs. Stuff like that. What up to G Money? Sister T. G Money says, What's up? He says, talk back to me. It's funny that you asked about eating. I am chowing down on some baked chicken, baked sweet potato, and some kale greens. FYI, spaghetti and cornbread is common in the Midwest. Oh, that's a Midwest thing. I don't listen. Up north in Jersey, where I'm from, he never did that. We did was snow crab legs and spaghetti. You understand? But if y'all taste buds out there in the Midwest, combine spaghetti and cornbread, and hey, that's on y'all. But other than that, the baked chicken, the sweet potato, and kale greens, that sounds pretty decent at G Money. What's up, the Molly Fear? Shout out to you. He says, greetings. You had some nice slice of roasted duck. Roasted duck? Collard greens with smoked turkey and sweet potato pie made from scratch. Sweet potato pie, one of my favorite desserts. Sweet potato pie depends how it's made. All right, Levy says, I was waiting on a plate from my Caribbean family, but looks like I won't be receiving one. Milton Kent says, sugar goes on spaghetti if that's what you like on your spaghetti. Yuck. Woe unto them. They can have that. But for me and my taste buds, I can't eat that stuff. It's disgusting. Nico says, greetings, thank God, just resting and watching the snow fall right now. Snow, where you at? Let me know where you at. Where's it snowing at and things of that nature. You know what I mean? But over here in the Carolinas, it's nice. It's about 50, 60-ish and stuff like that. For the most part, pretty decent outside. All right? David B says, I'm currently speaking to relatives who believe the baptism alone is enough to save. They're Baptists. SMH. Wow. That's a great conversation for the most part. And, a lot of people do believe that you only need baptism. And that's it. Some people don't even repent every day. You know what I mean? They believe that you repent one time or whatever the case may be, get baptized, and that's it. Man, this stuff is work every day. It's rough. You know what I mean? It's really rough when it comes to getting right with the Lord. But people who believe, I wish it was that easy. I would have hoped it was that easy. You know what I mean? Just all I got to do, get baptized and repent one time, and that's it. Oh, man. I'll be out in the clubs and all that other stuff. I'll be getting back on my DJ equipment. You know what I mean? Go hit up some clubs, some lounges, some halls. I used to do house parties when I was a teenager and whatnot. You know what I mean? Hey, we be doing it real big. You know what I mean? Strip clubs and everything. But I don't know why people believe that for the most part. Suzanne Miller says it's snowing here in Ohio. All right. Nico says in Grand Rapids, Michigan. What's up to DYS? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. But that's a very interesting conversation at David B. Baptists believe that. Majority of Baptists believe that. At who said that? At David B. Bro SV says a lot of folks believe once saved, always saved. Sadly. I think that fella, what's that fella name? He calls himself Smart Christian Channel or something like that. He believes that for the most part. I think some of the people who used to come on here for biblical discussions, they believe that stuff. Listen, I would have hoped it was that easy. You know what I mean? Otherwise, a lot of us wouldn't be working towards things as far as like striving for the Lord. We wouldn't be praying every day. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be repenting every day or seeking forgiveness often and whatnot. Suzanne Miller says, Corey. Yeah, Corey Minor. He came on once for a biblical debate. You know what I mean? And although he got smoked and stuff like that from a scavenger now. What's that scavenger name? What's his name? I forgot his name. Man, Craig Giselle. Him, you a scavenger now. You understand? You was all right at one point, but now you a scavenger. You hear me? All right, what's up to Sister T? You says most Trinitarians believe that. Levy says, I used to watch that guy. You said he should need to change his name. All right. G Money says, a pinch of sugar in spaghetti is used to calm down the acid taste that comes from the spaghetti sauce. I mean, either way, I don't like sugar in spaghetti. I don't like that taste. You know what I mean? It's just disgusting. Even if it's a pinch, it's just so nasty. All right? You says people add a dab, not a lot, and it's usually put in as an ingredient and not just on top. Oh, well, I mean, hey, it's not my cup of tea for sure. David B says, you said, yes, the Baptist baptized Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Dewana said, do you celebrate Thanksgiving? Well, you should have been on the first channel. That was the topic of discussion on the first channel, and whatnot, and that was the actual question. I said, do y'all celebrate Thanksgiving? And we spoke for a little over an hour, and whatnot about it. For the most part, it was a great conversation on the first channel and whatnot. I'm pretty sure some people who was on there earlier and whatnot may have some things to say about it. There was some pros and cons. There was a lot of mixed reactions in that conversation, even to the people in holiness, and whatnot, about celebrating Thanksgiving, for the most part. All right, so I hope you check out that conversation. You know what I mean? Whereas though I talked about it. All right, Levy says, my bad on the mix-up. Tony, for sure, no problem. William says, come on, it's good. Disgusting. Bless, what up? Sister T says, I know people use dark chocolate in spaghetti. Ew. Dark chocolate and spaghetti. Who does that? Now, listen, I'm definitely throwing a plate of spaghetti with dark chocolate in it in the garbage. You understand? Right in the dumpster. I'm going to tie the bag to make sure the garbage people get it. That is pure disgusting right there. Who does that? Who put dark chocolate in spaghetti? Who? Oh, man. But although I see those videos on Facebook and stuff like that, whereas though they're creating all these nasty type of combinations and they trying to make it seem like it's really good, you know? What's up to Sandra Brown? Shout out to you. Hope all is well for the most part. Anthony Nelson says, you back? Yeah, I'm back. I'm on this channel. He said, what did you have for Thanksgiving? Huh? What did I have? Nothing was made over here. You know what I mean? I don't cook meals. I don't cook Thanksgiving food and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Back when I was younger and stuff like that, I can remember, my grandmother making food and stuff like that. So I had me a smoothie after the gym. I had me it's like a chocolate hazelnut spread. What they call that? I forgot. Nutella on like wheat bread or something like that earlier. You know what I mean? In general, went to the soul food spot and got me some chicken and rice and some beans, sweet potato pie, and had a little cornbread from a spot I bought it from. But for the most part, the last time I celebrated Thanksgiving with family, was a long time ago. Very long time ago. You know what I mean? Long time ago. All right? Bless says, I've heard of sugar, but not dark chocolate. Me either. All right, Sister T says, some chefs on cooking shows. I haven't seen that. William Barlow says, yeah, dark chocolate is too far, absolutely. Molly says, roast duck is all dark meat, seasoned good, that's southern cooking. Okay. What's up to Sandra Williams? Shout out to you. Bless says, I had leftovers from yesterday, chicken and potatoes. Chicken and potatoes. That sounds pretty decent. For the most part. We just scrolling through. What's up to J.O.? You says, that would be good. I would not be praying for the Holy Ghost. Huh? What made you say that? I don't know where you get that comment from at Justin Owen. What are you referring to? Let me know. All right. Milton Kent says, I thank God for giving me a break from cooking on Thanksgiving. No more of that. What do y'all thank God for? Huh? That's another question for the people out there. What are you thankful for? You understand? What's up to Sion? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. You said you didn't cook nothing. Okay, that's fine. You didn't eat anything. Hey, that's fine too. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing wrong with if you're fasting or if you're just not hungry or whatever the case may be. G Money says no traditional Thanksgiving, no traditional Thanksgiving celebration for me. You says I treat every day like it's a special day. It's a blessing to be in the land of the living. I stay at home and thank God for my mom and another day. That's it. You wrote. Okay. Not a problem at G Money. You know. Appreciate that. Christopher Span says, I'm not eating nothing. Oh man, Span. You ain't eating nothing. Anthony Nelson says, I made myself look at the history of this holiday. And it made me depressed because I've been taught in holiness to love everyone and to forgive and forget old problems. Yeah, that's what they was talking about on the other channel earlier. You know, some people was like, talking about the origins. Some people, talking about they do Thanksgiving because, they thankful for their family and stuff like that. And, basically that's mainly only time in general around the holidays that people can have family time in general. So it was a good conversation on the other channel. Like I said, it was mixed reactions. It was mixed emotions. Just like yesterday when we talked about firearms. Excuse me, not firearms. When we talked about self-defense and whatnot. And when some people got into firearms, mixed reactions and whatnot. That's why I think it's good to have conversations. You know what I mean? Even people in holiness, listen, we ain't going to agree on everything. You know what I mean? We're not going to agree on everything, even down to the foods. You understand that? Like I said, I don't like sugar on spaghetti. Somebody might like it. You know what I mean? This person might celebrate this. This person might not. They may have their reasons. This person might have their reasons. I mean, this is a good conversation overall in general. You know what I mean? All right. Justin Owens said it's about the once saved, always saved. Oh, okay. I got you. All right. What's up to Vladimir? You said, hey, from Latvia? I never heard of that place before. Let me look that up. I never heard of that place before. Let me see what that is. Where is that by? Oh, it's in Europe. It is a country in Europe. Okay. Shout out to that place. You know what I mean? It's by a place called Estonia. Shout out to you from Europe. All right. Patricia says life, health, and strength in Jesus Christ. Molly says, I'm thankful for God just being in my life and grateful for directing me to First Church, she wrote. Patricia says, a day off. Anthony Nelson says, hate Carrie, too much weight. KJ Smooth says, sugar on spaghetti. No, sir. I agree. All right. What's up to Terry for the promise is to come. Appreciate that for the most part. All right. It's a great conversation in general. You know what I mean? And you referred to when somebody brought that up at Justin Owen, it's about the once saved, always saved. Suzanne Miller says, I thank God for his grace and mercy. Appreciate that for sure. Same here. Among many other things that I am thankful for. All right. What's up to Levy? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Appreciate that. Nico says, God is good. It looks beautiful outside. You says white. All right. The one that says, if you're going to add sugar to your spaghetti, might as well add maple syrup. Ew. Now that's disgusting. What's up to Helena? Shout out to you. You says greetings everyone and God bless. G Money says like I sit at home for Thanksgiving. I stayed home in the hot summer on the 4th of July. It's the 4th of July you put. You said I celebrate no holidays. I'm going to eat regardless unless I decide to fast for a cause. You wrote that at G Money. Okay. I mean, hey, DeWanda, you laughing. Suzanne Miller. Sion says, but in America, you can eat turkey or pie anytime. I mean, what other places can't you? What other places can't you not eat turkey and pie at any time? Let me know at Sion. Please let me know. I would like to hear this one. What other places that they don't allow individuals to eat turkey and a pecan pie. All right. Let's see where we at. You also mentioned that you like pecan pie. I mean, it's okay for the most part. Pecan pie, custard pie, sweet potato pie, cheesecake. Some people make like buttermilk pie. You know what I mean? People like blueberry pie, strawberry, raspberry, however you want to put it. Peach cobbler, peach cobbler pie. Anthony Nelson says a lot of people are switching from sugar to a grave for health reasons. I never heard of that before. A grave. Let me see what that is. What is that? All right. Okay. It has a lower glycemic, I don't know how to pronounce that word, index than sugar, meaning it doesn't raise blood sugar as quickly because it is much higher in fructose. I never heard of that before. Very interesting for the most part at Anthony Nelson. I mean, what other healthy things out there do y'all cook with? What other healthy seasonings or anything like that to that standards do y'all cook with? You know what I mean? I know a lot of us coming up, grandma and auntie and stuff like that, they cook with, things that may be super unhealthy. You know what I mean? Helena says it's healthy and good. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll check it out more so in general. If I go to the supermarket or whatever the case may be, if it catch my eye, I may just try it for the most part. But the only thing I mainly use sugar in is my tea. That's it. You know what I mean? That's probably it. For the most part, powdered sugar and when making pancakes or whatever the case may be. So appreciate that at Anthony Nelson. Justin Owen says, I stopped cooking Thanksgiving dinner with family when I came into holiness. Every day is thanks for me. Okay, not a problem. G Money says, I'm not a huge fan of sugary pies and cake with icing, but give me a piece of 7-Up lemon pound cake and it's on. 7-Up cake. When I heard that in the movie, I thought he was being funny. I actually thought he was being funny when I heard that in the movie a long time ago. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all watch Baby Boy. Come on now. And when that fella said 7-Up cake somewhere in the movie, I thought it was a joke. I didn't know it was real. But being that you said it, 7-Up cake. Wow. Brother SV, he says, I prefer cane sugar instead of white sugar. He says brown rice is healthier compared to white rice. Okay, for sure. I eat both. Brown rice and white rice. You know what I mean? I like them both. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to let that white rice go, I'd say. Anthony Nelson says molasses, honey, and buttermilk biscuits is my weakness. Honey and buttermilk biscuits. All right, G Money says you got to try it. 7-Up cake is the bomb. 7-Up cake. Let me look it up right quick. All right. Okay. All right. Do they put like the soda 7-Up in that too? Let me know. All right. William Barlow says 7-Up cake is good with some icing on top. Okay. All right, I might look into that for sure. You know, Brother SV says I still eat white rice also, for sure, absolutely. All right, Anthony Nelson says 7-Up pound cake is no joke. Okay, a lot of y'all, encouraging me to go try 7-Up cake. Maybe I'll look into that. 7-Up cake. Now, I'm not going to try that sugar and spaghetti. The 7-Up cake, cool. You know what I mean? What other ideas y'all may have? You know what I mean? That I may not know about. What's some combinations? Or what's some foods out there? Whether you're from the Midwest, the South, North, wherever. The West Coast, let us know. All right? Molly says, sugar on spaghetti, no way. Ketchup either. Excuse me. Who puts ketchup in spaghetti? Who does that? Who put ketchup in spaghetti? Wow. That's just disgusting right there. I mean, people out here, they'll try any type of combination. You know what I mean? It's just disgusting. Brother SV says, do any of y'all eat chitterlings? I never had it. Nope. Not at all. Never had chitterlings. I've seen people, like my grandmother when I was coming up as a kid, she would make it. She would make chitterlings and people would eat the chitterlings with hot sauce on it. Now on Facebook, you see the videos, people making chitterling wraps, chitterling empanadas, chitterling sandwiches. I wouldn't be surprised if they make chitterling pizzas. Disgusting. You hear me? Chitterlings is disgusting. You know? All right, what's up to Levy Jennings? Shout out to you. Patricia said chicken fried steak in Oklahoma. Chicken fried steak. Huh? Oh, let me look that up. Chicken fried steak. What a combination. Let me see this right quick. Chicken fried steak. All right. Okay, I'm looking at it right now. Is that like a chicken breast? A little thin chicken breast? And you put the breadcrumbs or the flour on it in the shape of a steak. And then you fry it or something like that. Or deep fry it. And it comes out looking like a steak or something like that. Let me know. All right. Anthony Nelson says, but what if to go healthy on delicious cakes, try the sweet potato pound cake? You can't go wrong. Okay, I'll definitely try that. I'll definitely try that for sure. Sweet potato pie pound cake sounds good. All right. Milton Kent says, I know I'm late, but if once saved, always saved, why Revelations 3 and 5 speaks about being blotted out of the book of life if you don't overcome. Interesting. David B said that stuff stinks in regards to chitterlings. All right. G Money says if you're from the Atlantic Coast, East Coast, then you got to try baked salmon and seafood dressing on top. You says also scallops, macaroni, and cheese is the bomb. Now that sounds good. That sounds good right there. You know what I mean? That sounds really good. I love scallops. One of the seafoods that I love, and I'm pretty sure many of us lived in the hood with the Chinese spot or the chicken spot. I love them fried scallops. Or when I go to Red Lobster or anything like that, I love me some scallops. Very expensive in the food markets, but I love me some scallops for sure. All right. The one that says, are you open to diverse foods like Indian, Middle Eastern, etc.? Good question. Great question. Great question. At one point in my life, I didn't want to try that stuff. I didn't want to try no Islander food. I didn't want to try no Japanese food. None of that. I was always used to food at home and food in the hood. When you're in the hood, what's out there? Chinese spot and halal foods, the chicken spot. You know what I mean? That's what we came up off of and stuff like that. Or the poppy stores, Spanish food. You know what I mean? At one point, I did not want to try these things. Right? It wasn't until I was in New York one time in the Bronx, by Fordham Road or something like that. And there was this place called Golden Crust. I think it was Jamaican food or something like that. Parked my truck. I said, let me try this place. Golden Crust. I forgot what I had. Might have been some oxtails or something. I don't know. But once I ate that, man, I was stuffed and I felt great. That was some good eating. That was some good, that was some good Jamaican food. I will say that. You know? So I'm open more so now to trying different, diverse foods. I am. You understand? But it depends. You understand? I'm not going to try just any old thing because my stomach can't take certain things. So I'm being careful with that. But I will try different, diverse foods for sure. You know? William Baller says, I make a mean caramel apple cake and cream cheese, with caramel drizzle. That sounds cool. That sounds real cool right there at William Barlow. All right. DYS says sardine pizza. Ew. Sardine pizza. Nasty. Sardine does not go on pizza. No way. Pineapples do not go on pizza. You hear me? Sardines. Sardines on pizza? I don't know. My stomach, just by talking about it and thinking about it, I can't even process that. You hear me? Sardine pizza. Wow. What up to AG? Shout out to you. He says, I love Mediterranean style cuisine. All right. Sion says, tuna with pizza is good. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Tuna on pizza, no. No. That shit, nah. Tuna on pizza? Really? Who puts tuna on pizza besides you? That's disgusting. You know what I mean? That's nasty. Nico says, have you tried sausages with noodle? What is that? I don't know how to pronounce that word. Maryucha? He says, or tomato onion is good. No, I haven't tried that. I haven't tried that. Let me look that up. You see what it is? You said sausage with noodle. What is that? Maryucha. All right. It looks okay. It looks okay. It looks like Roman noodles or something like that. It looks okay. All right. AG says had baked chicken dressing, potato salad, and greens. All right. DYS says come on over to BB. What is BB? Anthony Nelson said who cooks the best in the family? Huh? Who cooks the best in my family? Huh? Well, I don't know because I haven't had their food in a long time. You know what I mean? I would think I'm the best cook. Honestly. You know what I mean? But others may think they are. But back when I was coming up as a kid, my grandmother used to cook, you know, a lot of the times. My grandmother. You know, so from what I can remember as a kid, because I became picky over the years. And I didn't eat their food. We're talking about a long time. You know what I mean? And then when family members would cook, when I would go back to Jersey, I didn't like it. Their food was disgusting. I tell them, this is nasty. You know what I mean? Horrible. You know? All right? G Money says, I brought this up before. In one of your lives, you got to try some alligator voodoo with some dirty rice and some greens. What? Alligator voodoo with some dirty rice? Huh? I don't know about that, man. I don't know. That'll make me go. You said alligator voodoo. Is it who would try in here? Alligator voodoo. What? Come on, G Money. Come on, G Money. Alligator voodoo. Just the name itself. Alligator voodoo. The one that says try octopus one day. I can't eat that. I can't eat no octopus. No. I can't eat that. You know what I mean? All right, bro. SV says, I love pineapple on pizza. No. What's up to Robin Harris? Shout out to you. What's up to Say When? You says peanut butter on pizza. What? Peanut butter on pizza. I never heard of that before. Who does that? How does that work? How do you spread thick peanut butter unless you melt it on pizza? Wow. Listen, I feel sorry for individual stomachs out there if you're ingesting peanut butter on pizza. Seriously. Listen, I wouldn't know how a person insides is functioning after that stuff. Peanut butter on pizza. All right, David B says, what's up with all the strange foods? Question mark. Thank you. At David B. Peanut butter on pizza. Sugar in spaghetti. Alligator voodoo. What's up to Anita? You said you should try pizza called The Works. It's yummy. The Works. Where's that located? Milton says, I don't eat from Korean stores. I was in Korea in the army, and I've seen how they make any kind of meat. Tastes like chicken or beef. Wow, that's crazy. Bless says peanut butter on bananas. That's more reasonable right there. I'd say that's more reasonable. Peanut butter on bananas. What's up to Shannon? You says, hey everybody, peace be. I'm eating on a turkey gobbler bowl from Wawa and chicken noodle soup. Okay, Wawa. All right. G Money says alligator tastes like chicken. I don't know, man. I don't know. SV says sounds like some New Orleans food. What up to G Powell? He says, what's going on? Alligator voodoo. All right. Shannon says the voodoo took me back, but I'm down for some alligator. DYS says alligator tail. Yes, I eat that. Alligator tail. Alligator tail. Ah, man, are y'all deep in the South or from the South? That's deep in the South right there. That's deep in the South roots you may have. Alligator tail. The tail. Anthony Nelson says, I would love to go back to eating Nathan's hot dogs and their fries, but too much sodium in foods these days, for sure. Patricia says, almond butter and dark chocolate. I agree with that one. That's good right there. You know? Shannon says, I'm from Louisiana. Louisiana. Ain't that a place where people eat like all types of foods? Well, there's alligators, bears. Some people cook raccoons, snakes. I mean, a guy who baptized chicken, he cooked bears and snakes. Bears and snakes. Nasty. He was doing fine when he was baptizing the chicken, but once he did the snake and bear, that's another level right there. Not for me. You understand? Milton says, when I was younger, My mother cooked cow tongue. Cow tongue. Cow tongue. Wow. Cow tongue. Cutting a tongue out of a cow to cook it. I don't get it, man. Listen, I'm fine with the T-bone steak. I'm fine with the ribeye, but a cow tongue. A cow tongue? Molly says no alligator in my no alligator in my part of the South, but apple or chocolate dump cake is. Let me look that up. Apple dump cake. Let me see that. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. You know, looks good for sure. Apple dump cake. Christopher Span said disgusting. Absolutely. A cow tongue. You know? I mean, what's next? The tonsils? What's next? You know? I don't know. Christmas Span says, if you a woman and you eat snake, I can't even be mad at you. Oh, man. Anthony Nelson says, if anyone says anything about mountain oysters, I'm out. Mountain oysters. Let me look that up. Mountain oysters. I don't know. I never had oysters. They look slimy. They look disgusting. So I don't know about that. All right. Patricia says cow tongue sliced like bologna. I don't know about that. You know what I mean? David B says you people have some gross tastes. I agree. I agree. Because my stomach can't process a lot of the things that, you know, individuals have put out. Cow tongue. What's next? All right. What's up to Bless? Levy says some curry goat. Now, I've heard of that. I heard of curry goat. In fact, let me look it up. Curry goat. Eating a goat. So goats, cow tongue, alligators. What's next? What up to Cali Boy 78? What's next? What other weird things out there that folks eat? You know, I'm thinking people are going to say potato salad and chicken and salads and stuff like that. I'm hearing alligator. I'm hearing cow tongues and stuff like that. Chitterlings. G Money says, face it, all meat comes from animals or creatures, regardless of how it sounds. If you eat chicken, then you can eat alligator. Alligator is just a little tougher, but seasoned right, it's tight. I can't eat that. No. I mean, it's cool that some people can't eat alligator or possums and stuff like that and raccoons. I can't digest that. Yeah, I mean, just like some people eat frog legs. I can't eat that. You know? Pro SV says goat is good. And you says all meat come from animals or creatures that G Money. Hey, that's cool. I'm not knocking people who eat it more so, but I can't take that stuff. You know? All right, what's up to Robin Harris? You says, I don't like curry goat, but I like curry chicken. Oh, yeah, curry chicken is good. I had some of that, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And the individual who made it, oh, man, thank you. Thank you. You know, I had curry chicken, I don't know, maybe 11 years ago. That person didn't make it right, or them people didn't make it right. It was all right, but man. But when I had it recently, Amen. Magnificent. Thank you. Appreciate that. You know what I mean? It's nothing like a wholesome meal made just right. Even if I'm picky. Now, I'm real picky when it comes to food. So if something tastes good to me, amen. But certain things I can't process within myself. Certain foods and stuff like that. Milton says they ate goat in the biblical days. That's cool. That's fine. You know? What's up to Hen Luke? Shout out to you. Levy says neck bones. I haven't heard really anybody say oxtails. I haven't heard that much. Shelly House, what up? He says crabs, lobster, mussels, and just about all seafood I will eat. He says, oh, shark meat is good. Chocolate-covered bees. What? Chocolate-covered bees? You got to break that down. Because I don't want to think about if it's an actual bee that's covered in chocolate. In fact, let me look it up first. And hopefully you can respond to that at Shelly House. Chocolate-covered bees. Let's look that up right quick. Let me see. All right. Oh, man. What up to Robert Cole? Shout out to you. Shannon says, I love chitterlings, but not everybody. Wow. Chitterlings. Anthony Nelson says, I know you from Jersey, and they have Jamaican restaurants there that fix goat dishes. Yeah, I saw some, Caribbean places out there and whatnot. But at the time, I wasn't a big fan of that. You know what I mean? We was hooked on the Chinese spot, the chicken spot, or the bodegas. You know what I mean? That's what we was hooked on coming up. Didn't really have any type of Caribbean food that I was interested in at that time. Caliboy78 says, if it ain't sold in stores, ain't touching it. G Power said, yeah, curry goat is a Jamaican thing for sure. All right, Caliboy78 says, goats is good Filipino style. You wrote. Shannon wrote, hog maws. Hog maws. Caliboy78 said, Japanese curry is lit. Looking for good. You said, looking for God, excuse me. He says, greetings. This African-American woman will be trying a Puerto Rican pot rice dish made of bacon, rice, coconut milk, sweet peas, and grated plantains. Yum, yum. Sounds decent. All right. G Money says, I don't eat beef or pork at all. My diet includes chicken, turkey, fish, and heavy seafood. I haven't eaten beef or pork in 22 years. That's why I know alligator is the bomb. Okay. Not a problem. At G Money. You know. Herdwise, what up? Shout out to you. Shannon says, I love seafood, period. What up to Virginia Fillmore? Shout out to you. I love seafood too. Robin Harris says, lamb is good. Hen Luke says, moose meat, yummy. Moose meat. What is moose meat? My first time hearing that. Let me look that up right quick. Moose meat. Moose meat. It looked like what I'm looking at. It looked like pot roast or something like that. What I'm looking at. Herdwise, I'm eating goat curry with potatoes, with naan and Brussels sprouts. Okay. All right. Anthony Nelson said, yeah, people eat insects covered in chocolate. That's disgusting. That's disgusting if that's the case. Insects covered in chocolate. Wow. I don't get it, man. Caliboy78 says monkey brain. What? Monkey brain. What are these people thinking about? What's on these people's minds? Chocolate covered insects. You put monkey brain. Monkey brain. Are you joking around? Huh? Is this guy joking around? Monkey brain. That's crazy. Levy said to the person in the chat, curry goat is not exclusive to Jamaica. It's a Caribbean dish. Span says, I want peach cobbler. Peach cobbler. Shelly House says, chocolate-covered bees. My coworker brought back from overseas, and they taste good. Oh. Oh, wow. Very interesting. Harold Wise says, sheep and lamb is good, but bison delicious. Bison. Robin Harris says, West Indian food, yummy. Christopher Span says, this ain't Oregon Trail. Oregon Trail. Anthony Nelson says, in Jersey got some banging piece of joints, especially on the boardwalk. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Levy says, you ever had stew duck? Stew duck. Nope. No stew duck was ever made in general. Would I taste it? I don't know. I don't know at all. You know? Shannon says smoked salmon and caribou. Nico says you have all clean your sink, bathroom, drain. If you haven't, it's time to check now. I don't get it. What does that have to do with the conversation? Is something going on with the waters or something like that? Digital Masterpiece says, what up? You says about to eat shrimp, pasta, and garlic bread. Not too bad. Milton Kent says you might find anything in gumbo. Gumbo. Caliboy78 says you wouldn't be saying that when an alligator is sitting on your porch, in reference to people who eat alligator. Patricia says shake and bake pork steaks. Bro SV says I never knew people ate moose. Me either. What's next? An elephant? What's next? A rhino? I never knew that. What's next? A hyena? Wild dogs? Wow. That's crazy. Digital Masterpiece said, I heard moose was good, but I ain't trying it. Me either. Hen Luke says, Alaskan favorite meat. Sister T says, Middle Eastern food is good too. Shelly House says, fish stew is good. Potatoes, onion, celery mixed with rice. Pops used to make it. Wonderful. Shannon says, chocolate-covered ants and grasshoppers. Disgusting. Chocolate-covered ants and grasshoppers? Chocolate-covered ants. Think about how that sounds. Chocolate-covered ants and grasshoppers. Wow. Now, we was kids in the hood playing around, and, you know, on the sidewalk, you see a lot of ants just roaming around. Think about that. Wow. That's crazy right there. You said people eat them. I don't eat that. I wouldn't even want to try chocolate-covered ants. What is this, Fear Factor? Unless I'm on a TV show, Fear Factor, where so I got to eat something like that in order to win, I'll try it. But this ain't Fear Factor. This is people's regular lives. They don't have Joe Rogan in front of them for the show Fear Factor. These are people who actually eating this stuff freely. Yeah, I'll eat some moose. I'll eat some alligator, chocolate-covered ants, grasshoppers, monkey brain, cow tongue. What's next? Huh? Let me know what's next. Shark intestines? Huh? What's next? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Y'all got to help me out here. Please help me out. Because I don't know. You know, listen, I'm going to stick to the basics. Fried chicken, rice, potatoes, yams, stuffing, shrimps, snow crab legs. Man, I never knew y'all would recommend or y'all eat this type of stuff. I never knew that. I'm learning something today. Thank y'all for enlightening me, for teaching me the things y'all eat. You understand? Thank you. Because I never knew this. This is why it's good to have conversations like this. You know, regular conversation to chop it up with the people, learn about certain things about individuals. Whether they're in holiness or not, just regular conversation for the most part. Chocolate covered ants and grasshoppers. I thought I heard it all when I heard that cow tongue. What could top that now? What can top chocolate covered ants and chocolate covered grasshoppers? Caliboy 78 says people from India eat monkey brains. That's sad, man. That's sad. Unless you're starving, unless you have nothing else to eat, you're struggling, and you have to resort to eating monkey brains. But if you got the option to have something else, but you still eat monkey brains or cow tongue, I mean, maybe it is good to some people. Maybe it is. When you go overseas and stuff like that, and you tell them that, listen, we eat fried chicken, we eat white rice, we eat snow crab legs and stuff like that, they may call it disgusting themselves. They may do that. Just like I call eating monkey brains disgusting. You know? All right, Christopher Span says, I'm getting Hannibal lecture in here. Robin Harris says, locusts is in the Bible to eat, but I'm not eating them. Got that right. Shelly House says, my dad used to use brains for breakfast. What, monkey brain? Herb Wise says, you can order lamb, goat, quail, pheasant, sheep, bison, etc. online. Game meat. Wow. Patricia said, John the Baptist ate locusts and wild honey. Shout out to John the Baptist. More power to you. But I ain't eating that. You know what I mean? If that was his choice, that's on you. You know what I mean? I can't eat that. You know what I mean? For sure. All right, Digital Masterpiece says, some people eat cow tongue. Bro, man, please. Ugh. I don't know how they do it. All right, Shelly House says, liver pudding is good over grits. Liver pudding? What is that? Let me look that up right quick. Liver pudding. Liver pudding is a savory southern U.S. regional dish similar to a soft spreadable pate or a type of liver sausage. Okay. Okay, not a problem. All right. G Power says the weirdest one is monkey brain. Never heard of it. Some of us are really creative. You got that right. You got that right. Very creative. Robin Harris says, monkey brains, yuck, I saw that in the Indiana Jones movie. Filipinos eat pig blood. It's a dish called chocolate meat. Pig blood. Listen, I don't know how these folks' stomach process that at all. All right, G Money says, try an entire deep dish seafood pizza with stuffed crab, shrimp, and lobster. It's to die for if made right. That sounds decent. That sounds decent. It sounds decent. It sounds kind of decent for sure. All right. Span said, judging from what people eat, I know what you eat. Enough said. Oh, man. Monkey brains. Patricia says liverwurst or hoghead cheese. Hoghead cheese. Let me look that up. Hoghead cheese, all right? Let's see what we can find here. I don't know. That looks disgusting. Honestly, hoghead cheese. Yeah, that look nasty, honestly. All right? What's up to Mona Lisa? Shout out to you. DYS says curry duck. Curry duck. Levy Jennings says we can eat all things. I mean, hey, it is what it is. Mona Lisa said it's Wagyu burger and fries for me. A Wagyu, what is that? A Wagyu burger? I think I seen one of those Facebook or TikTok videos when a fella in the bodega making the sandwiches, and he uses that Wagyu burger to chop it up for the celebrities and whatnot. Chopped cheese or whatever you want to call it. He does that stuff. You know what I mean? That's the first time I heard of that Wagyu burger stuff and whatnot. Off of those videos. Milton says the dietary law in the Bible says you can eat locusts, crickets, and grasshoppers. More power to the people. I ain't eating that stuff. Crickets. I don't want it. You know? All right. Patricia says Mediterranean foods. Shelly House says jambalaya is good for sure. Back at you at Sandra Brown. Sweet potato pie at Sion. Sweet potato pie. Christmas band says we getting up there in age. Fear factor, glory to be to God. For sure. Anthony Nelson said there is a document on Nova about the strange thing that people eat, including people. Wow. Not a problem at Milton. Shout out to you. Digital Masterpiece says shark meat is nasty. Shark meat. Shark meat. I think that fellow who baptized chicken had a shark or something like that. Let me see if I can find one of his videos and whatnot. Let's see if we can find one of his videos when he made shark meat or whatever the case may be. All right. Baptized chicken guy. Bernard. That's his name. And I'm going to go to his YouTube channel. This is him right there. All right. Let me type in shark. So shark, he made shark meat with gumbo or something like that. So this is him right here. Let me see if he zoom up. Let's zoom that up right there with Bernard. Look at Bernard making shark. Oh, man. I thought it. There we go right there. I'll make sure it don't play. Look at this guy. Look at this guy right here. Making shark gumbo. Nasty. That's nasty, Bernard. You know what I mean? The baptizing chicken is cool. But the shark, I don't know about that, fella. I don't know. You understand? I really don't know. All right? Sion says green bean. He says greens, beans, potatoes, and yams. SV says, I grew up eating liver with onions and gravy with rice. But earlier this year, I had fried liver in Dallas. Sandra Brown says skunk elbows. What? What's up with all this stuff? Skunk elbows? Skunk elbows. You heard? Skunk elbows? You really said that, Sandra Brown. Are you playing around? Are you joking? Skunk elbows. Wow. What's up to Brother S? Shout out to you. He says, we eat whatever is sold in the shambles. We bless our food and water. Help yourself. He said chocolate-covered roaches. I don't know about that at Prodigal Son. He says, Asian eats dogs. Brother S says, we can at least use good judgment and eat what we know about. But if you are stranded and have nothing of our choice, then I guess we will eat what's available. For sure. Span says, you can't tell me he says, be by the comments in here. Y'all won't eat human flesh. Span, you funny, man. Span, you funny. But to the one who says skunk elbows. Skunk elbows? You got to be kidding me. Who heard of skunk elbows? All right. Driver expert says today, you go live today at this time. Oh yeah, we was live earlier. Levy says, I'm starting to think you're being trolled on some of these dishes. I'm starting to think that too, man. I'm starting to think that too for sure. All right. Shelly House says, they sell brains in the stores here in Boston, but my pop used to bring them back from North Carolina. All right. SV says, cook the meat well done. Now that's an argument right there. Especially when it comes to steak. That might be a little debatable. Because I know some people like their steak medium well or medium. You understand? At one point, I used to like my steak well done. But then I wanted to try medium well. And it was pretty good. You understand? So, do you feel the same way about steaks at SV? All right? Shannon says, hoghead cheese, heard about it, but it sounds too nasty to eat. All right? G Power says, I heard Apostle preach about eating everything for sure, though. Bro. He also says, use good judgment. Shelly House says, no catfish for me. It makes my stomach feel like I'm having a baby, and that's not a good feeling. Milton Kent says, my cousin used to eat chicken feet. I heard of that. Caliboy78 says, I saw this video on YouTube of an Asian lady eating a baby. I don't know about that. YouTube would allow that? You sure that wasn't like an AI or something like that? Bro SB says, I had something called Bake and Shark from a Trinidadian restaurant. Wonderful. G Swole says, I'm not going to lie. I'm on my way to my family's house to eat Thanksgiving food. But if there's a family member that gives me bad vibes, you think I should still go? I mean, that's up to you. You know what I mean? You have to make good judgment on that one. For sure. You know what I mean? I really don't participate in stuff like that when it comes to regards to family functions, especially if I have a bad vibe about something. Or some of us, our families, when we get together, it's always a fight with somebody. You know, two cousins may not like each other for years and years since they was kids. And they still fighting in their 50s. It happens at family functions. You know what I mean? Fights in families. People still holding grudges from years and years ago. It never die away. You know what I mean? So, situations like that, I mean, you have to use a righteous judgment and stuff like that. You know what I mean? All right. Let me see where we at. Shannon says catfish is nasty to me. I don't know where you get your catfish from. You know, but when you get it from a nice spot, nice fried up, and they make it just right, season it just right. Oh man. Bro SP says down south they really be cooking. Somewhat. Sandra Brown says, I don't like salmon. It's nasty and too salty. I'd rather have catfish, but I do love salmon. I don't know how to pronounce that word you put. Anthony Nelson says, you never know what you are going to eat until you are really starving. Have you ever starved for food in your life? Huh? Starving? No, I would say really hungry, but never like starved. Didn't have any food for days, stuff like that. Nah. You know what I mean? Nah. All right. Terry for the promise to come. Are you talking to G Swole? Sandra Brown says, I remember one year I went to the Chinese place to get me some pork fried rice, egg roll, boneless spare ribs, rib tips. I remember them days. All right. Milton Kent says, is skunk elbows worse than cow tongue? Well, the sound of it sounds like it. All right. Jay Israel, you says, Mr. Harvin, how are you? I'm good. Reached out a while ago about a potential debate topic. You never got back. I like your debate structure. And I think it'll be a good topic and edifying. Where did you contact me at? You know what I mean? Let me know. Here's the email. Here's the email right here as I'm typing it in from the computer. That's the email, J. Israel. G Money says, try some grilled or baked salmon with barbecue sauce, baked beans, and some KFC tasty coleslaw. It's fire, you put. Cali Boy 78 says, Haitians eat cats back home. Wow. G Swole says, your breath is really going to be smelling due to skunk elbows. I bet. Eating skunk elbows. Chitterlings. Ah, man. Brush your teeth, brush your tongue. Gargle with Listerine for about 30 minutes to an hour straight. Eating some skunk elbows. Because that scent is hard to remove. If anybody ever been sprayed by a skunk, that stuff is hard to remove. Imagine eating something on a skunk. Wow. Sister T said, yes, Elder Dan preached that on Sunday we need to eat well done meat because it's biblical. Well done meat. A steak, when it's medium well, is that blood coming out or something else? Answer the question. Answer the question. When you cook a steak and that red stuff is coming out, is it blood or something else? Answer the question. Answer the question. I want to hear this one. Answer the question. Let me know what y'all think about that. All right? Let me know. All right? Again, when you cook a steak and you make it medium and the red stuff come out, what is it? Is it blood? Answer the question. Make sure you know what you're talking about. Make sure. How do you know it's blood? How do you know? How do you know it's blood coming from that steak? Let me know. He said it's red. Yo, y'all funny. He said it's red. Ah, man. Wow. So, is myoglobin blood? Let me know. Is that blood? Myoglobin. All the health people out there, those who went to school and stuff like that, for health, and you're a doctor or you're a medical assistant or whatever, let me know. This is a good conversation for sure. Let me know. No, I ain't no rapper. You want to ask a question like that, am I a rapper? Huh? Do I look like 50 Cent or 42 Doug? Huh? Huh? Are you a rapper? You hear me kicking a hot 16? Huh? Or battle rapping? He said Lloyd Banks. He said Lloyd Banks. Now that's funny. I like that one. Lloyd Banks. Oh, man. I get that sometimes. Lloyd Banks. That's crazy. Now that was funny. All right. Where we at? Anthony Nelson says beer and bison burgers are delicious. I don't know where you get that from, sir. All right. Genesis says wifey made curry shrimp, rice, and cabbage. You know, curry shrimp sounds good. That sounds good. Curry shrimp. Right? All right. Cali Boy 78 says, like Malcolm X said, gut eaters. Malcolm X. What's up to C Boog? Shout out to you. Milton Kent says they have smokehouses for dogs in Korea. We ran past a couple of them doing PT practice in the Army. Wow. Shelly House says blood in my food have to be well done. Okay, cool. All right, now the problem at G Money. Be blessed. All right. What's up to Johnny? Shout out to you. Hope all is well. Chris Sanchez says vegan. Temper, you said protein, superfood, pinto beans, and veggie cheese made from cashews, quesadillas with a side of blue Takis. Okay. Brother SV says would be a good discussion topic. Absolutely. Appreciate that at Sister T. Appreciate that at Heard Wise. Birdman Bird said, this is Aaron Sparrow. Oh, you Aaron Sparrow. What up, Aaron? Long time, man. I think you was on the other channel earlier. Shout out to you. Hope all is well. All right, we got a couple more minutes before we knock off. If you got any last closing remarks, we can wrap this thing up. You know what I mean? If you got any last closing remarks, let me know. You understand? Let me know. For those who think that was blood and steak, you might want to look that up. You might want to look it up. What is that red stuff that comes out of a steak? All right. Patricia says Oklahoma fried everything, pickles, corn, and even Oreos. Fried Oreos. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for sure. If you got any last closing remarks, feel free to leave it in the chat and whatnot, so I can get up out of here. You said you knock off too early today. I've been on here for almost an hour and 20 minutes. And plus, I was on earlier on the other channel. Would make it a little over 2 hours and 20 minutes that we was on a live in total. You know what I mean? All right, Sister T says, thank you, peace and blessings, bro. Tony and fam, appreciate that. Anthony Nelson says, bear meat is sweet and better than beef. Okay. Not a problem. You understand? A lot of people had some weird things that they eat, but for the most part, it's all good. No problem at J Israel. No problem. You too. Everybody out there, hope whatever you're eating, have a nice meal. In general, some people got to go back to work tomorrow and have a wonderful sleep, peaceful sleep. Lord willing, we might come on tomorrow again for the most part. And good night to everybody. Enjoy. God bless. Tony Harvin, I'm out. Peace.